Do you smell that, Carmela?
Wait, what am I supposed to be smelling?
Today is all about the smells, because we're going to be learning about and tasting and reviewing one of the great aromatic dry white wines called Müller-Thurgau.
Oh my.
Yeah, and if you didn't know that aromatic wines were a thing, we are about to educate you.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Oh.
And if you're new to our podcast, here's a quick orientation. Each week, we explore a different wine varietal or blend like Picpoul or Valpolicella or Müller-Thurgau, and we dive into just what these wines are, what makes them special, and why finding new wines to learn about is so gosh darn cool.
Oh my, it's so much fun.
And our goal is to help you expand your wine knowledge in a fun way that's understandable and accessible to regular people.
Hey, that's new.
Yeah, well, no, actually, I've been saying it for a while. But
Oh,
that's
really?
Okay. Yeah.
Really? Those seem like new words.
Maybe there's a few words in there that are
That's what
new.
I mean. I mean, not that the whole thing is new. Okay, go
Can I
ahead.
finish?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
We also taste and review 2 to 3 wines under $25 each, and we share our scores and recommendations to help you find great wines without breaking the bank. Like eggs, less expensive than eggs.
I mean, some of the wines are surely
Less expensive than eggs. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us, and we're proud to say that Decanter Magazine calls us fun, irreverent,
Chatty.
and entertaining. And I also just want to say for the record, along with all the egg stuff, we are not AI. Okay.
Wait, what?
I'm worried that it's going to be harder and harder to tell people from bots.
Oh my.
But I'm here to tell you people, we ain't no robots.
I mean, that is wild. That doesn't make any sense.
We're no robots.
Well, we could have started out and then all of a sudden now we're robots.
Trust me, in time, people will be like, I'm not sure if that's a person or a robot.
Even like face to face?
It's totally.
Whoa.
Okay, Carmela, we are back with a wine tasting and review episode after taking another break last week, so we could share one of our interviews with y'all. And so this week we're going to do something new that was suggested to us via DM on Instagram from Riccardo, who's from Italy.
Is he a bot?
He is not a bot. I don't think so, because he said he would love for us to try aromatic dry white wines. So here we are today with a specific aromatic white wine called Müller-Thurgau, which I am excited to potentially add to our list of go-to white wines. But also, I'm excited to learn more about just what the heck aromatic dry white wines are.
Me too.
Yeah, I knew you would be.
I'm so excited.
So thanks, Ricardo, for the suggestion, because here we are doing it.
Oh my gosh.
And we want a little thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Okay, so
and we want a sticker. Oh no, we give the stickers.
We'll give you a sticker. Okay,
right.
But I don't know if we can afford the postage with the cost of eggs to Italy. Anyway.
Wait, are we sending eggs too?
No, I hope not. Okay, so aromatic white wines are defined as those that are intensely fragrant, as you would guess, and are often described as floral, fruity, or herbal, or as our friends in England would say, herbal.
No.
Yes, they would. They would say herbal.
I thought we were in Italy for this one.
We are.
Okay.
These wines come from grape varieties that, as you also might guess, have higher levels of aromatic compounds. And in particular, the aromatic compound we are most interested in is called It's not called Carmela. It's called terpenes.
Terpenes.
That's
Carmela terpenes?
No, just terpenes. It doesn't. But that's kind of a fun word, terpenes.
I thought Carmela was kind of a fun word.
It is. It's not. Neither is quite as fun as Müller-Thurgau, but terpenes is kind of fun. Almost sounds dirty, but it's not.
It almost sounds like you could be like, you're such a terpene.
Oh wait, just wait, because you're going to be able to use this in
and then people
events.
Will be like, what?
Exactly.
Like, what do you mean I'm a terpene? And then they'll be Googling as fast as they can.
Don't you want to know what a terpene is?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Terpenes are chemical compounds, and they are responsible.
I love how you redirect me.
I know. I just like a little kid. Come this way. Come this way. And they're responsible for many of the floral and herbal aromas in wines, and they are generally found in grape skins.
So it's not really a knock on somebody to call them a terpene.
Terpene?
Terpene.
No, a turbine, yes. Okay, specific terpenes can have very distinct aromas like rose or geranium or orange, and different grapes will have different concentrations of these chemicals. So to get even more nerdy and more technical, monoterpenes are a subgroup that produces fruity and floral aromas like linalool. That is a terpene, a monoterpene, and it's what gives roses their rosy smell.
Ah.
Isn't that interesting?
I think, yeah, it is. Wow. Okay.
I bet you never knew that.
I didn't. This is mind-blowing.
And like you were saying, now you can wow your friends and family. And you can say...
Like I was saying?
Yeah, you like with terpene, and you could say terpene.
Oh, but I was actually thinking like it was kind of like, you'd be like, you're such a terpene.
Well,
but now it's like a good thing, so...
Here's what's something you could do. You could be at a dinner party, and you could say, holy cow, get a whiff of the terpenes on this baby.
Okay, baby. Okay, nobody would believe it if I did that. Maybe if you did, but for me, they'd be like, what did she just try to say?
All right, anyway. Now, winemaking techniques can either mask or enhance these aromas that the terpenes are giving. So, for instance, here's the thing. The use of oak can really tamp down on the impact of terpenes, and cool fermentation and using stainless steel tanks rather than oak, or avoiding malolactic fermentation, these can help to bring the terpenes out or bring aromas out. So I think one of the reasons why we like unoaked Chardonnay more is because it's letting out the terpenes. It's letting out the aromas. The oak
shadowing.
That's right. The oak isn't in the way. And here's another interesting thing. There are a number of grape varieties that are more likely to create aromatic wines because they have the highest concentration of terpenes.
Oh my.
And listen to what some of these grapes are.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Gewürztraminer, Riesling, Muscat or Moscato, Sauvignon Blanc.
We love all these.
Torrontés, Viognier, Müller-Thurgau, Albariño, Loureiro, Vidal Blanc, Pinot Grigio.
Wow.
See?
Some of our favorites.
Yeah, so obviously the terpenes, the aromatic, there's a reason why we like these wines.
Yeah.
And some people are going to like them better and some people are going to like them less. So you may have been drinking, we have been drinking aromatic dry white wines.
And didn't even know it.
And we didn't even know it. We didn't even know about this subgenre of wines.
That's right.
It's like our sons, both of our sons, our oldest and youngest sons, taste in music.
Oh my!
Like
I
just call it death metal, but there are lots of subgenres.
Somebody screaming in my ears, metal.
Exactly. But there are subgenres. There's like slam. There's melodic death metal. There's also grindcore, just to name a few.
Wow.
So just like there are subgenres of death metal, there are subgenres of wine. If this is helping
you understand, then great.
I mean, people, you're getting this information for free. That's how valuable it is.
They're like, we know, we can tell.
Okay, so like Carmela said, some of our favorite wines are from that list of aromatic white wines. And we never knew we loved all those wines.
Never had all these terpenes in it.
Yeah, exactly. We just didn't even know why.
The word is just kind of weird. It's not a very sophisticated sounding word.
Well, let's get back then to the word that we really like, which is...
I don't even know how to say it.
Müller-Thurgau. It does look like Müller-Thurgau, but it's Müller with the little umlaut over the U, and TH is Thurgau.
So you did your homework.
I did my homework. So we have 2 Müller-Thurgau wines that we're going to be tasting and reviewing, and we're going to see if they're worth you searching out. And we're going to learn a little bit more about what Müller-Thurgau is. It is a grape we have covered in the past a little bit. We had an episode called Let's Talk About Sekt, which was about German sparkling wine, and some of them were made with Müller-Thurgau, at least that was in there. But that's a little bit beside the point, so we need to learn what this wine is about. But first...
you got to do our shameless plug.
I sure do. So thanks for listening to us and supporting our show. And if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, now would be the perfect time to follow or subscribe to our podcast. It's free. It's a great way to support us. And another great way to support us is to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you haven't done that yet, come on. What's it take?
What have you been doing?
But just, you enjoy it. It's free. We don't ask for a lot.
No.
And we'll even give you a sticker. And you can also follow us and see pictures of the wines we're tasting and trying today and weird AI pictures I like to make on Instagram at the Wine Pair Podcast. And we're now on Blue Sky as well. So if you're curious, we do post differently on Blue Sky and more frequently on Blue Sky than we do on Instagram, but it's a little different. And you can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can sign up for our email newsletter there. We'll have another one coming out on Feb 1. And now on our website, you can find links to a section called Shop Wine, where you can shop for wines that we rate highly on our podcast. We just send you to a link to a retailer and we get a little back. but you don't pay any more. And it helps keep our podcast free, which we like. And we want to make content you care about. So send us a note and tell us if there are wines you want us to try or winemaking areas of the world you're curious about, like Ricardo did. Hey, aromatic dry white wines, why don't you try them? So here we are today. And it's been a little bit since we've recorded an episode. So here are some shout outs. A shout out to Justin, who's a longtime listener and just reached out via our website and asked if we have done an episode on Cabernet Franc, which we have, but maybe we'll do one again. And he mentioned potentially looking into Cab Franc from British Columbia, which would be fun because we have roots in British Columbia.
Yeah.
And he also suggested that we use Vivino as another way to look at what reviews have come from others. So we're going to start doing that today. It's a great suggestion, Justin. So thank you for that. And Christine R., also known as Tips to Live By, she's always reposting us on Blue Sky, and she's a great supporter. So thanks for that. And to Ari, who reached out to us to ask for some recommendations on wineries to visit in Santa Barbara. And then she responded back and let us know what she visited, which was really fun. So there's a few in there that we need to look at. And then Corinne, who also asked us about wineries she should visit in Willamette Valley for sparkling wine. So we gave her some ideas around that, even though we don't know a ton about it.
Right.
We gave some articles, and we have enjoyed Stoller wines.
Great, yeah.
And Chehalem. So that's good. But we thank you, and we love hearing from you, and we love chatting it up. So keep it coming. And then as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should recommend the Wine Pair podcast to, because the best way for us to grow listeners is when you tell your family and friends about us. And this week, we want you to recommend us to anyone who loves white wines like Sauvignon Blanc or Riesling or Viognier or Albariño, because first, they may also love Müller-Thurgau, and second, we can tell them why, and it's terpenes.
Thank God for the terpenes.
I never thought I'd say thank God for terpenes.
I never did either. It never crossed my mind.
But now, every day I'm going to be like,
thank God.
Smell the terpenes on this baby.
Wow. What would we have done without terpenes? What have we been doing since, before this?
My life, our lives would be much less interesting.
Right, without
if
terpenes.
there weren't terpenes.
Is that it? Terpenes?
Which I never thought I would ever say.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's learn a little bit more about just what the Müller-Thurgau is. So we mentioned this in the German sparkling episode. Müller-Thurgau is a grape that was created, Carmela.
Wow.
It was not just born.
It's like a Frankenstein.
It is a Frankenstein.
Or the creature.
Yes, the creature. With Frankenstein.
It's the doctor.
Is the doctor.
Right,
He's
right,
not the
right.
guy with the green and the weird head and the bolts in the neck.
Right. He's as crazy as, the creature.
The creature's awesome. The doctor's bad.
True.
Okay, can we get back to it? In 1882, a dude named Dr. Hermann Müller at the Geisenheim Grape Breeding Institute of Germany made this grape. Maybe he is Dr. Frankenstein too.
I'm a little worried.
By the way, that is a real place and it still exists. The Geisenheim Grape
Is this
Breeding
wine green?
Institute. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of Wicked.
Yeah. Oh, God, we are so off the rails. Okay. Now, as you might guess, the first part of the name Müller-Thurgau did come from Dr. Müller.
Oh my gosh!
But the second part of the name Thurgau is named for a canton, which is a fancy way of saying district in Switzerland, that's called, you guessed it, Thurgau, and that's where he was from. So while the grape has a German name and we're drinking wines today from Italy, it's a Swiss name.
Oh my God.
Like Uncle Max. My Uncle Max, who married my Aunt Anne in Canada. Okay. And we don't know where Uncle
going
Max,
off the
we don't know where Uncle Max is.
Wait, if you know where do you have any clue where our Uncle Max is?
Now I'm kind of sad about where Uncle Max is.
How did we go down this road?
I don't know. Let's get back to Müller-Thurgau. Okay. Müller-Thurgau was originally thought to be a cross between the grapes Riesling and Sylvaner, and sometimes the grape is called Rivaner, which is a combination of Riesling and Sylvaner, but DNA testing showed it's actually a cross between Riesling and a grape called Madeleine Royale, which sounds like a fun grape. Yeah. I'd like to meet her. It's evidently a white grape variety that's mostly used as a table grape, also known as an eating grape.
Oh.
And it's also said to be a cross between Pinot and Trollinger. And Trollinger, by the way, is a wine grape used in northern Italy and Germany. But the most important thing here is that Madeleine Royale is known as being an early ripening grape. That's why Dr. Frankenstein Hermann Müller.
I know. I'm worried about this grape.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, when
all
Hermann...
this information is making me a little bit suspicious.
Okay, so now listen. When Hermann Müller was creating the grape...
like Herman.
Listen.
Isn't that the name of some creature also?
Herman's Hermits. Okay.
Okay,
Hermann...
see?
Okay, can we just... No, Hermann Munster was actually...
Herman Munster?
The
That's what I was
Frankenstein
thinking of.
monster in the Munsters. Can we get back to Müller-Thurgau?
Yes, okay.
Okay, when Hermann Müller was creating the grape, he was hoping to combine the intensity and complexity of Riesling. It is alive! With the earlier ripening Madeleine Royale. And over time, Müller-Thurgau...
I don't know if I can taste this. I'm a little worried. We might turn into something odd.
We may. If we turn into monsters, you'll know. But over time, Müller-Thurgau has become the most widely planted of what are called the new breed of grape varieties. And while it may not be a household name in the United States, in the 1970s, it was the most planted grape in Germany because it makes a lot of fruit and it's a lot easier to grow than Riesling. And in fact, it said that it helped Germany get through post-World War II recovery because it was so plentiful they could make tons of wine with this grape.
And that table grape too.
That's right. And they eat them with Madeleine Royale.
Right.
Okay, Müller-Thurgau was also a grape that helped to establish the wine industry in New Zealand in the 1950s, and it was the fourth most planted crop plant there until Sauvignon Blanc came around.
What was the top crop?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Top crop.
Oh, God. Anyway, so fairly or unfairly, Müller-Thurgau is considered to be a grape of lower quality than Riesling. And some critics...
build up.
It's just like the monster. You know, he never got enough credit.
No.
And some critics have called it a bland wine that is often made off-dry or semi-sweet. And so because of that, in the 80s and the 90s, it started to dip in popularity. And a lot of the vines... especially in Germany, were replaced by Riesling or Sylvaner. But it's still the second most planted wine grape in Germany. More than half of the Müller-Thurgau in the world is actually grown in Italy. And again, two of the wines that we're drinking today are from Italy. So even though it doesn't sound like an Italian grape or an Italian name, a lot of it is grown in Italy. And this may surprise some of you, but Carmela and I can say this firsthand. If you go to some of the more northern areas of Italy, there's a lot of German, Swiss, and Austrian influence. We went to a really great town on Lake Garda called Sirmione. The food was German. We had German beers. Like in northern Italy, there is a ton of German influence.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and in that area, the area where this wine is from, the Tyrol area, the Alto Adige, there's a lot of German speakers there. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls.
That's right.
Oh,
no,
wait,
I hope not boys and girls.
For boys and girls.
Yeah, especially because it's so scary with the doctor and the Herman and the danger. It is alive. Okay, so anyway, Müller-Thurgau is also grown in the United States, grown here in the great state of Washington.
Wow.
It's also grown in Oregon, and it's the most widely planted variety in Luxembourg, which is not in the United States.
I was
but
going to
just
say, wait a minute.
I don't know why the order. I just did it that way.
Okay.
Müller-Thurgau is known for creating a light-bodied, lower-acid, flowery wine that's described as drinkable, which is kind of like describing something as interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that's not great.
It's not awesome.
Right.
But winemakers in Italy and the United States are trying to make a more serious and more complex wine from it. And when they're grown at higher altitudes, the grapes can create more acidity, which is something we really like. It's sometimes said to resemble muscat in taste. It's often described as peachy and flowery, sometimes tropical, and although it's considered less aromatic than Riesling. So we'll find out. We'll see what we think. Now, I'm super curious to try this wine. I don't think it's getting a ton of love from the articles, like Frankenstein's monster didn't get a ton of love, from the people, from the crowd.
True.
But you know what? It's a wine we think wine drinkers should know about.
We're giving it a chance.
We got to give it a chance. It's super widely grown. It's one of the major wine grapes, even though you may not have heard of it.
It's drinkable, okay?
It's drinkable, and it's
drinkable.
And it's one of the core aromatic dry white wines. And I personally think because it grows so easily and all this climate change and all that kind of stuff, we may see it start to turn up more and more.
Might be a top crop for sure. Continue to be a top crop.
There's another terpenes and top crop. We have a donut place called Top Pot. I can't even think about it anymore now that you said top crop.
But nobody ever can get that right in our family.
No, it's always top spot, hot top,
hot pot,
hot stop. Okay, anyway. Carmela, do you think we should learn about the wines that we chose for this episode?
Wait, we haven't yet.
We haven't. We haven't.
I'm pretty sure we did,
No,
right?
we haven't. Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. So as usual, the wines we've chosen for this episode are both under $25. Yes, we're getting used to that, $25. And at least one of them should be relatively easy to find because I bought it on wine.com. And the other one I bought at a local wine shop here called Mad Wine or Esquin. And they're both found in the Italian white wine section, which again may be surprising. But it's not the most...
Say it with an Italian accent.
Hey, you want a Müller-Thurgau?
No, that's New York or East Coast.
Okay,
Give
forget
me
it.
Italian.
I can't do it on the fly. There's a lot of pressure. It's like, be funny. I can't. I'm not funny. Okay.
Wait, you got the script. That was off script.
You're right. You're right. Okay. You can find Müller-Thurgau at larger wine shops. You should be able to find it in places that specialize in Italian or German or Austrian wines. And you know what? Go to your local wine shop. Ask the wine guy or wine gal there.
Pal.
Get
Maybe
to know
they'll
him.
give you stickers.
Yeah, and you say, I want a Müller-Thurgau because the terpenes are turning me on.
Wow.
And they'll do
it's
it for you.
Top pot.
It's a top crop.
Top crop.
Spot.
I don't know.
Okay, so the first wine we're going to drink was really hard to find out much information about. So I'm going to pepper in a lot of random info, okay? But that's interesting. Random but interesting.
Right. I mean, at least it's interesting. True? We don't know.
We don't know. It's the 2021 Muri, Gries, Alto Adige, Müller-Thurgau, and it is from, as the name implies, Alto Adige, Italy, which is in the northernmost area of Italy in the Dolomites, and it borders Austria. And it is an autonomous region that speaks a lot of German, as we kind of mentioned. More information that you need to know, but according to Wikipedia, which is never wrong, by the way.
Never.
Since the 1970s, most legislative and administrative powers have been transferred to the two self-governing provinces that make up the region. The province of Trento, commonly known as Trentino, and the province of Bolzano, commonly known as South Tyrol or Alto Adige in Italian. In South Tyrol, German remains the majority language. Stuff you may not have known, but now you know why Müller-Thurgau is grown in Italy.
Okay.
But back to the wine. The grapes grow at about 500 meters. That's about 1,500 feet above sea level in soil that is called calcareous, which is soil high in calcium carbonate like limestone. And incidentally, that's the same soil type found in some of the greatest wine regions in the world, like Champagne and Burgundy and Chablis, and in Tuscany and Alsace and all that kind of stuff. So for this wine, the grapes are pressed, and after a temperature-controlled fermentation at 19 degrees Celsius, which is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, in stainless steel tanks for a week, the wine is stored in stainless steel tanks, I guess. A lot of stainless steel.
Wow.
So there's no oak on this wine.
Okay.
Now,
just what we like.
More fun but random information. Muri Gries.
True or untrue?
No, true. Muri Gries has a story behind it. You ready for a little story time?
Yes.
In 1845, the Benedictine monks from Muri in Switzerland moved to Gries in South Tyrol, where the order took over the Augustinian monastery, and they inherited a long tradition of viticulture, which they undertook and became a part of the work with the monastery.
Wow.
There you go.
I mean, wow.
Monks. Just think about it. Monks were making your wine.
I love it.
The next wine we're going to drink and review is the 2021 Elena Walch or Walch. It's W-A-L-C-H, Müller-Thurgau. And this wine is also from the Alto Adige region of Italy. The winery says this about their winemaking process. Elena Walch Müller-Thurgau is crafted from carefully selected grapes grown in the picturesque vineyards of the Dolomiti region. The wine is fermented in stainless steel tanks to preserve its fresh and aromatic qualities, resulting in a wine that is both expressive and elegant.
And drinkable.
But expressive and elegant, I feel like describes me a little bit.
And drinkable.
And drinkable. I'm a tall drink of water if you're a very short person. Okay, for some additional information, the vineyards are between 350 and 650 meters. That's about 1,100 to 2,100 feet above sea level, again in calcareous soils. They hand harvest the wines, and the grapes are gently pressed, thankfully. And then they use static clarification, which I didn't know what that was. That means they let the juice from the grapes clarify by gravity before fermentation. So they just let the wine kind of settle and all the gunk just drops to the bottom.
Okay.
Static, what did I call it? Static clarification. Now, all
Once
this.
you shake that baby up.
Well, here's the funny thing. They don't remove all the sediment because they also say that they leave it on the lees. So they leave some of that gunk in there. But anyway.
So they're kind of cloudy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's cloudy because wines on the lees are not necessarily cloudy. They just leave them on the lees to get some of that flavor. But it's also fermented in stainless steel tanks at about the same temperature as the other one. Then they let it age on the lees for a few months. As I said, the wine is also classified as an IGT. So it's an official Italian wine designation. It means it comes from a specific area, etc. It's not as strict as DOC or DOCG, but it doesn't mean it's not a good wine. In fact, some of the most famous and most expensive wines from Italy, like the Super Tuscans, which are generally Cabernet Sauvignon based, are IGTs. So it's just a different kind of designation.
Okay.
But you know what, Carmela? I think it's time to get drinking.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And if you have these wines or similar wines, a Müller-Thurgau or some other aromatic,
Have a Müller-Thurgau.
or some other aromatic wine with terpenes in it, then
And you have to use both of those words.
You send us an email with the word terpenes in it and your mailing address.
You could play a game. Like you could play a game with terpenes. You could be like, if you say terpene, then you have to drink.
This is not where I was going, but I like it. So if you send us a picture of you with your mailing address or just an email with the word terpenes in it.
Yeah, if you use terpenes.
And anyway,
I like this.
We will send you some stickers.
I came up with the stickers.
Jesus. I will smell your terpenes. It'll say, I smelled the Wine Fair podcast terpenes. Okay, with that.
That's weird.
No, that's not. It's not going to say that. It's going to say I drink with the Wine Fair podcast. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our first wine. This is the Muri, Gries, Alto, Adige, Müller-Thurgau. It's from Trentino, Alto Adige, Italy. It is a 2021. It was $21.99 at Mad Wine, also known as Esquin. 12.5% alcohol, 100% Müller-Thurgau. And Vivino has a 3.8 out of 5 score on it. But Carmela, first, what's the color? How would you describe the color?
I think it's pretty dark.
Well, I mean, it's dark. It's kind of...
it's golden.
It's golden. Mm-hmm. I think golden it's almost apple juicy kind of looking.
Yeah, but darker than a lot of the white wines that we
It's
drink.
Not Pinot Grigio, like light yellow like that. What are you smelling?
Well...
I think it's flowery.
Yeah, flowery, vanilla.
I got vanilla too.
Really? Yeah, I'm getting vanilla on this.
I want to say a little bit of apple and maybe a little bit... I like almost like... I don't know what...
Maybe a little
almond. Okay. I don't know what honeysuckle smells like, but I want to say honeysuckle.
Maybe just the honey.
Honey.
Yeah, it's like a honey flower. So
honey flower. That's, flower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did you say before that, though?
A little apple.
Oh, yeah, a little apple. Yeah.
Or pear, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of pear. It's kind of got a little more sweetness to it, like a pear. I think the pear is a good one.
And sometimes it smells a little thick. Mm-hmm. It smells a little thick.
It does. It looks a little thick, smells a little thick.
Yeah. Well, should we try it?
Let's do it.
Müller-Thurgau.
Cheers. It's Joe's birthday weekend.
I'm turning 21. And by the way, did you smell the terpenes on this baby?
Wow. I love the terpenes.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's kind of like got this interesting bitter tart kind of front to it. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I gotta try it again.
Appley, apple pie.
It's a mouthful.
It kind of is. It's like medium bodied. It's a little like it's got this really interesting tart up front, like a lemon apple.
Yes, kind of like those apples you talk about that your mom would put a little bit of lemon juice on.
Mm-hmm. That's what it tastes like to me. But there's also something kind of citrusy, orangey. I know we talked about lemon, but kind of orangey on it.
Yeah, a little pith, like a little bit of that inner part of the orange, the white part.
You're going to think this is really weird. I'm almost tasting a little, it's salty. I think it's salty.
It is salty. That it is salty. That's what I think I was It was a little unusual.
And because of that, I was getting a little olive. Almost
Oh, yeah,
olive-y.
it's briny. It's a little briny.
Briny
Yeah,
is a good way to put it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know what? I wonder if that, because it comes from these limestony soils.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that like is kind of coming through in that like saltiness or something.
The interesting thing is that the salt is kind of overpowering. It shadows.
On the back end. On the
Yeah.
front end, it's sweet, a little tart, but on the back end, it's got this interesting like kind of lingering salt.
Yeah. It's very unusual.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't think I've really had anything quite like this.
No,
I can't think of a comparison, let's say.
I'm having trouble thinking of one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you eat with this Müller-Thurgau?
Well, I don't think you need a whole lot of salty food now that I've tried it. I mean,
Your blood pressure might go up.
right. No, I'm thinking like something bready would be good.
Ready, bready.
I mean, you could do like a white pizza with it. I mean, you're going to get some cheese and stuff. I mean, it's so interesting. I almost feel like I want to have fruit with this.
Really?
Yeah, like a fruit platter, like maybe fruit and cheese, nuts.
Definitely fruit and cheese. Definitely cheese and nuts. Bready, I get it. I kind of feel like it could stand up to some stuff, like fish and chips, spicy foods.
As long as it's not too salty.
No, you're right. But you know what's weird? I don't know why you said pizza. I was thinking a regular pizza, like a pepperoni pizza. But everything that I'm talking about is kind of salty. So I just wonder if it's.
I don't know why I'm tasting so much of that salt too.
Do you think this would be good with seafood?
Actually, I do. I don't know why I hadn't said that before. I actually do. Because I do think seafood, you are seasoning yourself, right? It's not, especially if it's just like, I actually think like it could do well against like a white flaky fish.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think it would actually complement it pretty nicely.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm tasting it again because I kind of feel the orange, and I don't know if it's peach or apricot, but I kind of feel like I'm getting a little bit of that kind of fruit in it too.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of a dried fruit.
Ooh, a dried apricot is a good one.
Dried apricot.
It's not quite like tropical fruit, although, lemon, orange, that like I am definitely getting like that orange taste. But I like a dried apricot. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
We're going to rate this wine. As a reminder, on our rating scale, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10. We don't give half points. 7 and above means we'd buy it. 4 and below means we're likely to pour it down the sink. 5 or 6 means, hey, we'll drink it. We probably won't pour it down the sink, but we're not going to buy it. So, Carmela, what rating? I'm having a hard time with this. What rating would you give it?
I mean, I might be a little harsh right now, but I'm kind of feeling like a 6. Okay. I'm not really loving it. I'm not like, I'm not going to pour it down the sink for sure. I definitely drink it. Not positive I'd buy it just yet.
I'm being more generous. I'm giving it a 7. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. I think it's not offensive. Drinkable.
No, not at all.
It's drinkable. It's drinkable, right? Like if somebody served you this, you'd be okay with it.
And it is a drink, so it's good that it's drinkable.
True. Like we're not choking on it. But I mean, if somebody served you this, you'd drink it.
Absolutely, yeah. And it would be something I think that I would like to try it with food.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that tonight.
Agree. Like so many times we say like wine really should be had with food. But,
right.
Okay, we're going to take a break and we're going to try our next wine and see what we think. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our last wine. This is the Elena Walch Müller-Thurgau. It's from, again, Trentino Alto Adige, Italy. It's a 2021, again, $22.99 at wine.com, 12.5% alcohol, 100% Müller-Thurgau, and Vivino gives it a 3.7. So basically about the same as the last. But Carmela, what are you first noticing about the color?
Well, it's lighter for sure.
Definitely lighter.
It just doesn't seem as thick either. It just seems a little lighter of a wine.
Yeah, it's a little lighter in color. It's a little more straw. It's not as quite as brightly hued. It's kind of a little more subdued as well. It looks like a normal Pinot Grigio kind of wine. What are you smelling?
What about you? What are you smelling? I'm getting like citrus. Okay, for sure.
I'm getting much more herb. Much more herb, like
herb or
like herb, like
okay.
I'm not sure, like rosemary or oregano. Like I'm getting herb on it.
Okay.
And also salty, but a different kind of salty, maybe a little rock, little bit of rock.
Yeah, a little bit of stone, maybe.
So what was the fruit?
What do you mean?
What fruit did you smell?
I had some citrus.
Citrus.
Again, kind of orange blossom.
I feel like this one's less flowery. I'm almost getting banana on this.
Wow. Okay, kind of creamy then, huh?
Yeah, but just that kind of tropical fruit, but like banana tropical fruit.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could say I'm getting a little bit of pineapple.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pineapple. I like pineapple on that. Yeah. Okay, let's try it. It's smoother.
Yes, and not as much the saline. Still some bitterness on it.
Oh, the aftertaste it's strong. It comes in long and strong.
Yeah, with the bitterness. Yeah, I like it.
I do too. It's nice. It's a little bit chalky.
Oh, okay.
On the back end.
Yeah. Chalky, like what do you mean? Like actual chalk dust?
Yeah, like chalk dust. That's the way it kind of smells or tastes like that. I think on the front it's citrusy.
Yeah.
I'm not getting as much like apple, but I can't get over this banana.
Okay.
I can't get over a banana taste on it.
Yeah, it has a little bit of like vanilla too, maybe in the taste. But you're getting banana on. I mean, you're tasting banana.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if that's just in my head or something, but I'm like, there's something about it. Let me just see it. I don't know if I'm crazy. Maybe my taste buds are off. I don't know.
Not at all. What would you eat with this bottle?
Well, I wouldn't eat anything with the bottle. No. But I think the same kinds of things. Actually, I think this is lighter than the last one. And so I would think more fish, seafood, spaghetti and clams. Like, I would still do fish and chips. I think this is less salty.
This is more elegant.
It is. It's a nice wine.
It is. I'm enjoying it.
You like this one a lot better.
I like it better. I liked the other one. I couldn't get that saline
at your head.
True.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. What would you eat with it now that you're just guzzling this wine? You're just guzzling it.
No, I think you could do like a shrimp dish too.
Who you calling a shrimp?
Like a shellfish.
Who you calling shellfish?
What the heck? This is what it's like living with him, guys.
It is. Sorry.
This is what it's like.
It's on one dad joke after another.
Yeah, I would do, but like I do think you could do like a fish and chips with this spicy food. Like this is definitely more of a traditional wine that we would drink.
I think so
that
too.
would be good with all kinds of spicy food, fried food,
charcuterie. It would be good with charcuterie, light, something light at the beginning.
I like it.
Okay, so let's rate it. What rating are you going to give this Elena Walch Müller-Thurgau?
Well, gosh, I'm kind of like, I might give it an 8.
Oh, wow. You really liked it a lot more.
I like it.
I'd give it a 7 again. I like it.
Okay.
I don't know that I like it that much better or worse than the previous one.
Okay.
I think they're both good, both very drinkable.
So drinkable.
Both enjoyable. I think good options.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is a great one to add on.
So I think
to our list.
Okay, so I think if I said which one of these are you finishing tonight, you're going to say Elena.
Yes.
I think I might go with the first one just to balance you out. I like them both. I would gladly drink either one of them, but I'm going to be fair.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the taste profiles expected from Müller-Thurgau. Okay, in general, Müller-Thurgau, Wine Folly says peach, rose petal, lemon, lime, and flint. Flint is a fancy way of saying rocks. Another website called Pocket Wine says floral aroma of elderflower. I don't know what an elderflower smells like. Box hedge.
Box hedge.
Herbal notes. Flavor of green apple, grape, and citrus fruits. Grape is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the Muri Gries, the winery says intensely aromatic with typical notes of nutmeg as well as pepper, elderflower, and acacia. None of those.
Wow.
Okay. It's playful, salty, and mineral.
Yep.
And light and long on the finish.
Okay.
A website called Bottle of Italy says on the nose, offers a penetrating and pleasantly aromatic scent with notes of wildflower, green apple, and a light hint of nutmeg.
The nutmeg.
That's
piece.
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. On the palate, it presents with lively freshness and a balanced structure, supported by pleasant minerality. slightly spicy aftertaste. Okay. Elena, the saltiness we got for sure, but that was more of the winery saying that. Elena Walch, the winery says, light straw yellow color, agree. Pleasant aromas, discreet aromas of herbs, some nutmeg. We did not get nutmeg.
I really didn't.
Yeah. And apricot, slight notes of apricot.
Okay,
That's
okay.
interesting. Enjoyable freshness, youthful acidity. Third base market says pale straw color, fragrant bouquet of green apple, citrus, a hint of floral undertones. On the palate, crisp and refreshing, featuring flavors of pear, lemon zest, and a touch of minerality. I agree with that. Well, Carmela,
Interesting.
what do you think? Müller-Thurgau?
I'm digging it. I mean, I think the second bottle definitely for me it's a better choice for me.
I mean, an 8 is a good rating. Like, that's a
Yeah,
high rating.
yeah.
So that means we would put it on our list of white wines.
Yes.
Yeah, super fun.
So fun.
I will say, a lot of the wines we're going to be drinking over the next little bit are Italian wines. So while we're not doing Italian wine adventures, we could have. But
I know. I wonder, why are we not on an adventure?
Well, we
tonight?
kind of are. It's just that Müller-Thurgau is not a wine that I would. I mean, it's a lot of it is produced in Italy, but I wouldn't consider it an Italian wine. It's just that in trying to find it, everything that was showing up was Italian.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, Carmela, it's time for us to go.
Okay.
But before we do, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't done so yet, please follow or subscribe to our podcast. Also, leave us a nice rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Great way to support us. Come to our website, shop for some wines, send us a note. You can leave a note for us there. You can sign up for our newsletter there. We'd love to hear from you, a wine you want us to taste or review, a region of the
use
world.
the word terpene.
You get
We wanna know.
stickers. Yeah, exactly. You can email us also at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram or Blue Sky. We love to hear from you. We always respond, so please reach out. And with that, we're going to sign off. So we want to thank you once again, and we'll see you next time. And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty Müller-Thurgau wine. What's the German? Auf Wiedersehen. Arrivederci.
Ciao.